The light is so heavenly right now, like the sun is on my face, and I'm going to recommend you books. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I am Nehal and I love to talk about books, and this channel is all about book recommendations, reading vlogs, all about books and all of that. But I do post a little bit of I reacted to Taylor Swift album recently, and sometimes I post vlogs about my life in Canada. Generally, but about books. So if you love that, then you would love this video. Hello beautiful people. In this video I'm going to recommend you books that are great for beginners. Either you're getting into reading, like just getting into reading, or either you're getting back into reading. If you were into a slump and now you want to read books again, then I have my stack of books with me and I'm going to recommend you some great books from every single genre. So doesn't matter which type of book you like, whether it is a memoir, spiritual, self-help, whether it is a thriller, a young adult book, a mystery book, or whether it is adult romance, anything. I'm going to recommend you all of that. I'm here with 10 or 11 books. So sit back and relax, bring your water bottle. You're going to find your favorite book in this video. Okay, so the first book I'm going to suggest is, if you're looking for something which is so interesting that you can't put the book down, which is which is interesting enough, but it's not too intense that will get you traumatized. You know what I mean? If you're looking for that type of book, then I would suggest The Inheritance Games. The Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I just got this book. It is young adult. It is clean romance. You can read it if you're 16 years old. If you're under 18, you can still read it. If you're over 18, you can still read it. This is like the evergreen type of book. So this book is about a girl who is very, very poor, and suddenly she finds herself inheriting a whole empire. So now she has to go and live in this mansion with these boys, and there is a lot of mystery, like why has she inherited, and these boys are like kind of intrigued about her and they don't want her around, and at one point, but they warm up to her, and then all of the mystery around that. The one thing about this book is it has very short chapters and it is not that long. And don't get intimidated by the thickness of the book, by the way, because this book is so interesting. It has mystery, but it's not very traumatizing. So not trigger warnings are not required. It is a very safe, clean book to read, and I think you would finish this in 2-3 days, even if you're in a slump. Another book I want to recommend, which is also like young adult and mystery, but anyone can read it. If you like murder mysteries, you should read A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by by Holly Jackson. This book, it is an entire series. There are 3 books, but if you want, you can stop reading at one. But I know you won't. Again, don't get intimidated by the thickness, because every chapter has something that grips you, and it has so many plot twists, and you just keep thinking over and over, like, okay, fine, who murdered, and who is the murderer, and what is happening, and everyone seems like a suspect here, which makes this book so interesting. So I think this is a perfect book when you are getting back into reading, or if you are trying to get into reading. Also, the story is about this girl. She's in high school, and she has this school project to do, where she picks up this murder case which has been closed, and she opens it up, and she's like, going around investigating and playing detective, and it's so interesting. This is so good. Okay, another book I want to recommend, if you're into self-help. Wait a minute. If you're trying to get into self-help, like something like a therapy book or something, but you don't want to read something boring, then I would recommend The Mountain Is You by Brianna Wiest. This book is literally therapy on paper. Like, it is thin, okay? It is so small that you can carry it with you wherever you go. And I think this was one of the books that I brought with me from my home, and this book is so good. I literally, like, whenever I feel lost in life and I just need a sign or something, I just open this book. I have already read it, but I open a random page, and every single time, I find a message that really helps me. And this is like very to the point. It doesn't beat around the bush and like try to give you false messages. It is very straight to the point. If you are anything like me, if you tend to self sabotage yourself, then this is the perfect book for you. This is literally therapy and it is so fun. And the way she has written in such easy language that you can just absorb it into yourself, you know. This is amazing about self sabotage and literally the best self help book out there. If you are trying to read something that would give you chills, like you want that type of murder mystery, like something creepy, something gothic, and something that gives you, like, you know, horror movie, thriller movie type of vibes, if you're looking something like that, then you should read Verity by Colleen Hoover. I know Colleen Hoover is infamous and everyone hates her, and I think I'm among them too, but I cannot help but tell you that Colin Hoover writes the easiest books ever. Like, you can literally read it in one sitting. The way she writes is that a 18-year-old girl can read it, like a school dropout can read it, a high school dropout can read it, an educated person can read it. Like, the language is just so inclusive and easy, I would say. So okay, so the story is really creepy and kind of horror. It gives me chills right now to just think about it. I have read it like 2 3 years ago, back when it came out. So it's about this woman, this writer, uh, who has been in coma. She has a book series and that needs to be completed. So her husband hires another writer to complete his wife's series, you know. So this woman comes into her house, into this mansion, which is really really creepy, by the way. It gives such icky vibes, and she just has to like stay in her home and finish her book. And crazy bizarre things starts happening, and she starts questioning everything. And at one point she's like, is this woman really in coma, or is she just acting? Like, what is going on? And also, in this meantime, she gets attracted to her husband. Like, her wife is alive and they are still married. So it's kind of like, kind of cheating, kind of forbidden romance, like, you know, all of that. It's also like adult. So I would recommend, if you only read it if you're over 18, and if you are comfortable with explicit sexual content, I would say. But it is one of the most memorable books I've ever read in case of, you know, thrillers. So you should go for that one. If you want to read something which is about self discovery, a little bit poetic, kind of self help, but in a fun way, where there is a fun story, and where there is a story going on, and as you read the book, you kind of get this positive messages, you know, something about, um, a little bit about manifestation. I should just name the book first. This book is called Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. I hope I'm not butchering his name. And obviously, this is such a famous book that everyone has heard of it, and I think most people have already read it. But this is such a profound book. The story is so easy; it feels like a bedtime story. The story is very easy to read, and it's about this young man who is trying to find a treasure. But in order to find a treasure, he follows his own impulses and goes from one place to another, and he literally has nothing, no money. And just how he finds treasure from moving from one place to another, where he meets a lot of different people, and the things that he learns, it's it's really, I think it's a really profound, inspiring book, which I think everyone should read. Another book is, if you're trying to get into romance, if you are, let's say, 15 or 16-year old, and you want to read something which is very interesting and, you know, like kind of romantic, then you should read Twilight. I know this movie is so famous, but very few people have read the book. The book is very easy, and it's paranormal. The story is so interesting that you just cannot put the book down. This is one of the first books that got me into reading. I think I was 17, 16, 17 when I read this book. And after reading this book, I found my love for reading. And right now I have read 500 books, more than 500 books till now. If you are someone like 19 or 20-year old, or like any age really, but above 18, and you are trying to get into something really like fluffy romance rom-com, but you want something deep, like intimate, but also not so heavy, then I would suggest The Deal by Elle Kennedy. I do not generally reread books, but this is one of the books that I have read 2 times in my life. It is a sports romance. It is high school. She has to tutor him because he is failing in a subject, and he has to pass all the subjects in order to, get into a hockey team. And he's a hockey captain, by the way. So it's very like fluffy high school rom com, which I think everyone would love. And it also deals with some heavy topics. I would give you a trigger warning. It deals with sexual assault from the girl's side. So before getting into reading, please take that into account. But this is like one of my favorite books of all time. It is so wholesome, and it is so entertaining, that I would say if you want something entertaining, then go for this one. If you want something, again, I'm recommending rom-coms here, but I will, like, go into another genre. If you want something which is also high school and light, but you want something wholesome, like, something that would make you clutch your chest and be like, wow, this is so romantic and wholesome, like, which gives you all those butterflies and fluffy feelings, then I would say go for Win Some Lose Some by Shay Savage. This book is painfully underrated. It is so good. The guy is autistic. They are both 18. He is autistic and very shy and reserved. And she is the nice, popular girl. She always had a crush on him, but he never knew. But somehow they have to do a school project together. And because of that, there is forced proximity, and they kind of have to be together, and they go to each other's houses and get to know each other. And that's how they fall in love. There is also like some drama happening, but like entertaining drama, because her ex comes into the picture. And you know this entire book is from this guy's POV. We don't get the girl's POV, just the guy's POV, and how he views his life and his love story. It is so damn wholesome. Like, just thinking about this book brings a smile on my face. It also has some really cute intimate scenes, so it is not entirely clean, um, but it would not make anyone uncomfortable at all, because it is very beautiful. But if you are trying to get into memoirs, like you want to read something about a famous person's life and get a message from that, then obviously, I've read many memoirs, like Lily Singh's memoir, like Maya Angelou's memoir, like, ranging from famous people to legendary people. But for a first timer, I would say read this memoir. It is the memoir of autobiography of Amy Schumer. She is a very famous stand-up comedian. I think the way she wrote this book, or like co-wrote this book, is so easy, and she has such a great sense of humor, and the things that she has been through in her life. This book is called The Girl with the Lower Back Tattoo. I just read it for fun. I did not expect it to be so profound, and it gives such a great message that I think everyone should read. And especially if someone is a beginner, then this is a great book. And it is very interesting. Like, you would just fly through the chapters and you would not know that the book is even finished. But if you want to read something really adult, traumatizing, murder mystery, like something really dark, something that would grip you, like, and you cannot stop thinking about them 24/7, then I would suggest read the Mindfuck series by St. Abbey. This is very popular, and for good reason. This book follows uh, this book follows a woman named Lana Myers. She has been through a lot in her past life, and because of that, she is seeking revenge to all of those people, to an entire town that did her wrong. And I would not spoil you by giving her backstory, but like, she has been through a lot, and major trigger warnings, because this book is extremely dark, and there is uh, explicit violence in that. It is very graphic. So I would suggest that please read the trigger warnings properly before getting into this book. But after you finish the series, it is a 5 book series, but they are all very short, and I'm telling you, you would finish this in a week, because it has such a gripping story that, with every chapter you would be like on the edge of your seat. What is going to happen? What is she going to do? And all of that, because she is a serial killer, not serial killer, but she's a murderer basically, and he is the FBI agent, and this is their love story, and basically about her life, and all of that. And it is so damn entertaining. You would not be able to put this book down. But I would say, please be mindful of what you're getting into, because this book is extremely, extremely dark. I'm not joking. So please read the trigger warnings carefully before getting into this book. I would like to give one more book recommendation. If you are looking to read something which is, manifestation, which is about manifestation, but also with science, which educates you about how to manifest the life of your dreams in easy scientific ways with evidence, then I would suggest you to read this one. It is called The Power of Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy. It is such a good book. I have learned such great techniques just to make my life easier, not just about manifestation. This book is highly educating. And again, the language is really easy, and just the content in this book is so interesting that you would not be able to put this book down. I know I keep saying this, but all of these books that I have made a list of, that I have recommended you in this video, all of these books are so entertaining, so educating, and that you would literally won't be able to put this book down. So if you're a beginner, if you're just getting into reading, or if you're getting back into reading after a long reading slump, then these books are perfect for you. I really hope that you got at least 2 or 3 favorite books out of this video, which I am pretty sure that you got. I really give good book recommendations, okay? So if you like my content and if you like this video, then please like, subscribe, comment, all that fun stuff. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be back with another cool video very, very soon. Bye.